are my foundation, but I know a plethora of women who are amazing women who have imparted into my life. And so with Lincoln All Women, it's basically a platform for those women. So yes, that's my story, that's my foundation. But I know that my purpose and my mission is to link all women. That's what God sent me here for.
Okay, you on. That's right. You on with another lovely, beautiful, talented young lady, Miss Krys Speaks. Go crazy. How you doing?
Hi, I'm doing great. I'm doing great.
That's good. That's good. So Krys, I know you do so much in the city of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, excuse me. So I want you to go ahead and put us on notice. Let the world know about Krys Speaks.
Okay. Yes, I am Krys Speaks. I am a native of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I went to school in Nashville, Tennessee, at the Tennessee State University. So that is where I got my education from, and I majored in communications with the emphasis in journalism. And then I moved back home to do what I'm actually doing now. But when I moved back home, I started working in education. And then as, you know, the years progressed, then God downloaded the purpose he had for me, which was to create Lincoln All Women, which is my news and media company. And so we focus on telling stories, specifically women's stories, from an intergenerational perspective. So it may be a younger woman that I'm interviewing, and then it may be a woman who's seasoned, as we call them, who 65 and up. So it just depends on the age of the woman, but the goal is for the stories to be told and for us to be inspired to live and be greater.
And honestly, and that's one of the reasons that I reached out to you, because you do pretty much what we do here on Put Your Notice podcast, where you're trying to give recognition to others and you're trying to, you know, help. Well, you don't even call them interviewers, you don't call people that you feature, you call them links, because you're really trying to link everybody together.
Yeah. So I call them our guest linkers.
Yeah. And that's definitely amazing, because you know that message all within itself, I know have probably connected a lot of people with one another.
It has. And Lincoln All Women, aside from who I am as a journalist, it was my foundation. So I grew up seeing Lincoln and actually being a part of a link from my grandma to my mom to my aunt. And so that's a part of my story as a young woman, leading into adulthood as a full-grown woman. That's my story, knowing what to do, what not to do, what to say. And even in you still make mistakes as a person going throughout life. But I had a beautiful foundation of women who imparted wisdom into me. So it was able to carry me through education. It was able to carry me through my faith, me as being a woman of faith, and just all various walks of life. And so as I grew, my circle from mom, grandma, aunt extended to other people. I may call them seasoned or my OGs. So it grew and it extended. So those women are my foundation, but I know a plethora of women who are amazing women who have imparted into my life. And so with Lincoln All Women, it's basically a platform for those women. So yes, that's my story. That's my foundation. But I know that my purpose and my mission is to link all women. That's what God sent me here for.
Honestly, that's beautiful for sure.
When did you start Lincoln All Women?
I started Lincoln All Women in the year of 2015. So that was a transitional year for me in my life personally. And then, it led into professionally is when I started Lincoln All Women. I was unsure about how I wanted to move and do things. Should it be a nonprofit? Should it be this? And should it be that? And so 2017 was really the year where I really discovered as far as the direction that I wanted to go with my company.
Okay.
Now, starting your own company, what are some of the obstacles you had to face, and how did you overcome them?
One of the main obstacles is myself. And so me, as being very introverted, I was pushed spiritually and physically and mentally to go beyond my comfort zone to do the purpose that God has called me to do. So that's speaking, that's, you know, all of those different type of things that it takes to establish a brand, to grow as a journalist. And so the funny thing is I went to school for journalism, but when I created Lincoln All Women, I didn't have that in mind. I just knew that I was creating something because the goal was to link all generations.
Mm-hmm.
I feel that that was something that was missing in the world, specifically to talk about it more. And so that was the goal, the intergenerational piece. And then as I, you know, eventually kept building, what I actually went to school for came into play. And so that is where my journalism came in.
Isn't it funny that your hobby, because it seems like this started off as a hobby for you as well, or something that it becomes your passion, and like you realize the impact that, because with us starting Put You On Notice podcast, this was just a hobby of mine. This was just something I thought like, hey, I'm gonna get all the homies together. We gonna stuff, and you know, we're gonna just have fun, you know. But as I got to see the transition, I got to see the impact, because like you said, it is important to impact the youth. I think, you know, that generation connection is definitely important and more so prevalent in today's world, like with everything that's going on. So we have a variety of different segments, one in particular called Young Talent, where we go to high schools or elementary schools. We try to get a youth platform to, you know, vocalize themselves and just giving them recognition. We also have a segment called Youth to Youth. Me working at St. Charles Youth and Family Services, I understand that you know, some of these kids get into situations that they can't get themselves out of. And instead of hearing me preach to them or hearing another adult or somebody else preach to them, they rather hear it from a kid, someone like them that has been through the same thing, or, you know, so it's like we have definitely been trying to do the same thing as far as connecting with our youth and just the different generations and combining those all together.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing to be able to link across generations. I feel like you grow as an individual. You know, you gain wisdom that you may have never would have gotten just from mingling with your core circle or the same age group. Of course, you're going to stick with your age group, but it's powerful to be able to connect across the aisle, and especially specifically as women. I mean, learning from each other, and you know, it's just a beautiful thing to do.
As a Black female in today's world, and not only today's world, in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, how do you feel? You know, how do you feel right now with everything going on as far as COVID and you know, systematic divide?
As a Black woman, I am tired, meaning I am tired of seeing our Black men suffer at the hands of someone who is heartless. And that's really what it is. I am tired. You know, it really just bothers me. It's frustrating that we still have to be on the front lines to fight, to speak out, and to say that our lives matter. When we know our lives matter, but you know, we have to just, you know, like speaking out, like I can't even get it out. It's just ridiculous.
It is.
But on the flip, I am. It's a blessing to be a Black woman, specifically a Black person. It is the most beautiful, empowering thing that God could have ever blessed me to be. I wake up every day, you know, grateful being Black. I don't say why am I Black? You know, what's wrong with me? Or I don't even say, you know, as it relates to our counterparts, why they don't like us. That's not my concern. My concern is where their heart is.
Right.
Because I love me and I love us. So, you know, it's twofold. It's frustrating, but it's also empowering. As a Black woman, we bring so much to the culture. We bring so much to the world. A lot of things would not exist if it wasn't for a Black woman.
Hey, I have to agree with you on that. And I know
Godfrey, you come from a Black woman.
Hello. And Godfrey and I had this conversation earlier. I think this is a good transition because we now have a Black woman who is standing with Joe Biden.
Right. Right. That happened today. I think that was a smart strategic move. I am not surprised. And I am looking for them to make some changes, specifically to the criminal justice system.
Because she has that background, and she
does. She does. And so I'm all of myself, and people who are close to me know me. Like, I'm not into going back and forth. I'm all about solutions. And so I'm looking forward to see what they're going to do. I'm not gonna go back and forth and argue about what they didn't do or what their history is. Like, it's time for us to really demand what we want.
Right. And so, I mean, once again, congratulations to Kamala Harris. Looking forward to see what can come from this. And yeah, man, I do have to educate myself a little bit more on her and on her background. And, but
I think we all do. I think we all do.
Right. But I am excited to have a woman, a Black woman at that, standing by this man's side, because like I was finna say is that I really feel like it takes a woman to be able to really change this world. I think if we go through another 4 years of just terribleness, I think Michelle Obama, I'm putting it on wax again, will be our president in 4 years. That's how I feel. I
read her book, and she is not at all interested.
I know. I read it too. I watched the Netflix series, but that was for that was then.
Yeah.
It's like you just now have found your calling. You realize what your purpose was. Maybe she's gonna have that same, you know what I'm saying? Like, I see what my people going through. I see who they look up to. I see who they respect and who, you know what I'm saying, what needs to be done. Maybe I should reconsider. And that's how I feel.
I highly doubt it.
Hey,
but I think it's I think we're in a very pivotal time in America, and also as people of color, specifically Black people. I think even though we feel that we're frustrated because we may feel like we're not getting equal treatment, we've come a long way. You have a lot of us who are creating businesses. You have a lot of us who are building generational wealth. You have a lot of us who are becoming homeowners. So there is a lot of things that are going on. So I just think we are in a pivotal time.
I agree. I definitely agree. Well, hey, Krys Speaks, I am so honored to have you here. I want you to drop your social media information for the people real quick so we can continue to follow and support you.
So you can you can find me at Krys Speaks on social media. Those are my social handles for Facebook and Instagram. And then also for my business, Lincoln All Women, you can find that on Instagram, Facebook. And the home site is LincolnAllWomen.com, www.LincolnAllWomen.com. This November 6th through the 7th, is when we'll be hosting the next Law Gathering experience. It will be a virtual experience. And so I'm excited to share that in the coming weeks.
Hey, we're excited. We might have to, send our women there. We might, hey, Godfrey, you let Miranda know, all right?
Yeah, you share with all the women in your world. That's one thing that we always say. But share with all the women in your world the experiences for women ages 12 and up. Of course, it's going to be a virtual experience, so we'll be able to share it with everyone. But we specifically focus on, as far as the events, the audience 12 and up.
All right, Krys. Hey, continue to inspire women. Continue to help them tell their story. Thank you once again for joining us on Your Own segment of Put You On Notice podcast.
Okay, thank you.